All right, Gemini, let's check your December and let's see what you need to sign off on and how you will re-enter, or enter rather to say, 2021. So if you didn't check the Great Conjunction video, please do. I'm going to provide a link at the end of the video that really talks about this big shift that is really happening. That is very pertinent to you because you are an air sign. So you see, it's not only the Great Conjunction, but it's also the Great Mutation. And now you're telling probably to yourself, Cat, speak English. So what it means is, like, it's Saturn and Jupiter, two almost like very opposing ideas. One is like, generating expansion, one wants to constrain. So they need to actually negotiate. So black and white needs to negotiate, right? So are they going to settle on gray, or are they going to settle on something completely new and new elemental? So far, like when they were meeting, and they were meeting every 20 years, they met in earth signs. Earth signs and us air signs, it's kind of neutrality, kind of like we tolerate each other, and that's pretty much it. It's not much of excitement. We can have productive marriages, productive work relationship, but it's not going to be tick tock, tick tock, tick tock, kind of like a thing that your heart wants to kind of jump out. Guess what? So the Great Conjunction is when they meet every 20 years, and the Great Mutation is not only did they meet, but now they're shifting in a different element. So that new element is going to be Aquarius, but for the next 200 years it's going to be shifting from one air element to another. So from air for Aquarius to Gemini to Libra, and keep on going. So it's going to be completely different attitude. Finally, people will maybe kind of like see and understand our ideas and everything that we are doing. And this is telling me to stop shuffling, and it's Fire Kitten that you're getting here. So there is really interesting kind of like motion. So there'll be Page of Wands. There is like a surge of activity over here. You're not really thinking things through. I don't know if you can see it here. Kitty's tail is flaming over here because of improper kind of like handling, and it's just like too exciting in order to kind of like look into anything else. So this is cross for you with Three of Sea. So this is going to be probably the time for you this month to actually have lots of friends. Mercury is actually shifting today, December 1st, into Sagittarius, which is the opposite of your sign, and Mercury is your planet, and you're like maybe feeling a little bit displaced. But when you feel displaced with Mercury, it's almost like different ideas come forward and you feel energized and creativity is coming through and you're really feeling great about it. And there is like still certain level of self-protection over here, and that's possibly why Four of Earth came through. So look at him, he's guarding all his toys over there, whole bunch of toys there. Wouldn't that be more fun if he's actually playing with his toys with somebody instead of just holding them all for himself? But it usually happens when, you know, you get disappointed in people, or where you have to learn some tough lessons. This is usually when we kind of like erect walls of some reason. So you kind of like to some extent want to be on your own. You want to expand. You want to have this burst of activities. You want to have people being on your side, people understanding you. You look at this like, Sea Lion. He's playing here with kitties. So clearly, you know, you want people who are not like you to understand you, to love you, to like you, right? But you're playing with fire. You're playing with fire to some kind of like extent, right? So in the past, we have Seven of Sky. You feel that some kind of betrayal took place. You feel, look at this, look at the kitty is grabbing the little mousey just because the kind of like, what is this called? Bengali, I think, cat, distracted with all of these beautiful blackbirds passing by. So it's kind of like something that you put an effort could have been taken away from you. You maybe feel it's unjustly. You maybe feel like somebody's doing something, or somebody did rather to say something behind your back. It's kind of really interesting that kind of like, because I had a 3 and 4 and I was thinking 7, it's something spiritual coming through, and now another 7 came through. So it's telling me clearly it's something, a path that is asking you to go inside. Everything In you, you're going outside, but the path is inside, meaning you have to check your own soul. You have to do the right thing. You kind of like really need to re-examine what is what, right? Because it almost looks to me like you have a very extroverted nature, but even with that nature, you're very guarded here. So that's kind of like confusing to some extent. And there is like Earth King. That can talk about some kind of commitment. Maybe somebody's in your life, possibly a spouse or a really long-term relationship or something like this is happening. Because look at him. He built his path one by one stone. And now finally he's sitting there and saying, this is all mine. I did it kind of like my way. It's kind of like a really firm attitude, and that's kind of like to some extent telling me about the shift that is happening. You're going to be feeling this shift in particular between the 7th and the 14th. On the 14th also we get eclipse in Sagittarius, and like whenever I say Sagittarius to Gemini, it's like ugh. It's just like almost like the door slams in your face and now you have to open it. Like it's just like somebody kind of like just passed by, and for some reason, because you're an air sign, you kind of like to move forward, and it feels like that you have all the stipulations of some sort, right? But that on the 14th, it's going to feel like a break free. It's going to feel like that kind of like firmness is coming through. Look at it. There's like another 3 that we have over here. And 3 is clearly Trinity. 3 could mean that there are extra people, that are players in this kind of like thing. Maybe you're kind of like envious of a third person. Maybe the third person is envious of you. This card generally talks about collaboration, meeting other people who are like-minded or who bring something to the table, and that can actually really work out. It's almost like you're taking a step back, right? Because in order for them to get this big, beautiful bug, they have to work together, because none of them probably will be able to take it on their own. In your own house, you have Earth Queen. So this is now a couple. So this month, you know, you kind of like really know who are the people who have been loyal to you, who haven't been loyal to. It's really interesting because of this transit, right, that we are going into that air, and yet you have this earth. So almost like for you, it's going to be cherishing everything that you have accomplished. It's going to be very, very important to you, and you will be really guarding it, because now December 21st, this age of Aquarius is opening the gate. That's it. No more doubt which era we are going. It's not going to be some big fanfare, because keep in mind that we air signs can also create sufficient amount of problems, right? And especially Aquarius, because Aquarius is a fixed sign. So whatever is in their head, it is going to happen. But what if something is in their head that is a little bit wooey kind of a thing? So that you have to think about it. But this is really talking about comfort. Maybe this month is going to be something that you're going to pamper yourself. If you are female, maybe you're looking for some correspondent energy of somebody who will be doing that with you. If you're male, maybe you feel a little bit lesser. Maybe you feel a little neglected, that you always have to do the pampering instead of being pampered yourself. That's kind of like what I mean. There is like somebody coming your way. You have a loving family. There's like quite a bit about the family over here, guys. And this also can represent a child. Maybe the child is getting in trouble of some sort, right? But this really talks about that basically you're getting invites. There are like, I mean, loving things coming your way. And it's just a question if you're going to be able to see it. Because this card interestingly came through as kind of like introduction to what this month is going to bring, and it's saying that you really felt edgy recently, and these are hopes and fears. Oh, voila, whoa, you have like these two cards together, and this is everything. So it's really telling you that everything is possible, but this is also your biggest fear. This is falling in your hopes and fears category, that you want everything. This is almost like about achievement card. It's not almost, this is achievement card, and this is achievement card. It will be the highest one in the suit of pentacles, both of them. But this is falling in almost like that you are not allowing yourself to realize the achievement you have. Instead, almost like you're debating this, almost like you feel like this is slipping through your fingers for some reason, right? Because this is also the card of inheritances. This is also the card of family relationships, dynasties, that kind of like sort of things. And then we have the cat. And the cat is very mercurial. It's air. It's actually controlled by Uranus more than else. So this is kind of like looking in a new direction. So you will be discovering something new. There's like this 0 point. It's a reset of some sort. We have 10, which also contains 0, and we have zeros. It's almost like one message, second message, third message that is really, really coming through. Other than these two cards that really indicate some kind of healing of some sort, I really think everything else is really kind of like, look at this, earth and earth and earth and earth. Like it's telling you about grounding yourself, and that kind of like really makes sense, because the great conjunction for us air signs, even though is going to push us forward and we'll be able to reset, and finally we will be on, well, that's not necessarily on a pedestal, but because we kind of like to obtain the knowledge and really kind of like know what we know, like we'll be shedding this know-it-all, because we are kind of like tired of nobody ever listening to us, but we will be also tired of ourselves always telling it to the other people who don't want to listen. So it's going to be interesting thing that will happen. We shed it and things happen, right? So that's what's going to be happening this month. So let me get you instruction card for how to end the year, and also how to get the entry into 2021 for my dear Gemini. And you have follow the leader card. So let's see what is this all about. I'll read it for you. So it says, every life is a teaching tool for others. Your authenticity and honesty are an example to those around you. You're being called to lead others by example. And that's why this grounding approach, I mean, maybe you want to be a little bit frisky, but you need to kind of like have proper steps to move forward. It says, you have earned as a result of your bravery in the adventure of your life. The experiences of battles won and lost, places discovered and tears shed, and joy have revealed and have placed you in a unique position to be of service to others. Your suffering has been crystallized into a talisman of wisdom. I am reading the proper one, and I think that's why the clock is there. Now you must share it. By being fully authentic, you lead others into the light. You will be required to divulge some things about your past, and I guess that's what is happening. There's discomfort. So you might need to be able to help someone else based on that experience. Lead with love. There is another message here as well. Look to those whose great character and accomplishments you admire. Emulate the leaders you respect. You will then in turn have more to offer. So it looks like this the great conjunction for you is kind of preparing you to be this great communicator and almost like translator for this big shift that is really happening. So you will be on the forefront and telling people, okay, this is what's happening, this is what's happening, calm down, everything is good, we are like in a process, it's maybe turbulence, but put your seatbelt on. So clearly you'll be having this role, and you will be the kind of like welcoming person, I guess, to this new era. So that's going to be real lovely, and as a part of that, you're going to benefit greatly with actually creating and discovering your own stability and your own strength over here. So be the leader that you deserve to be, my dear Gemini. So guys, don't forget to check this The Great Conjunction video. The link will be provided in a few seconds. Lastly, join my social media if you haven't already, because I'll have the extra video that is only going to go to those for a little bit instructions for 2021. If you want to get the reading with me, contact me via cattarot.ca. And lastly, if you're my past client and you want to have your own personal annual forecast, I'll be doing those only for my past clients from January to the end of March, and then it's going to be the second wave. So you can order it. This is not listed on my website. It is like hour and a half. It's like, I mean, $195. It covers absolutely everything from quarterly reviews to astrological houses and basically every aspect of your life to Lenormand, to put it in a timeline and see how things will evolve and revolve. So that's kind of like really interesting to do. And if you're not a client of mine and you want a reading, just check my website, and any of the other readings would be still available for you, so that is not being taken away. So guys, have a lovely December, and it's going to be really opening new gate, a new world. It's a new day, it's a new life, it's a new world. All right, that's basically pretty much a good description of your reading for this month. So Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. Would love to hear your comments, and don't forget to check that video. All the best.